the usual background? No. Is this the usual channel? No. But while we're figuring out this YouTube situation, I'm still bringing you guys the news. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and we got some news on Luther Burden from Ben Johnson. Along with that, too, Noah Sewell, big update from him. Roma Dunze, and finally, a big addition to the Green Bay Packers ahead of their playoff push. I'm going to break it all down, but before I get into today's show, if you want a Bears win over the Detroit Lions in Week 18 in the final game of the regular season, hit the like button on this video. Along with that, too, should the Bears have their starters playing? Comment Y for yes or M for no, or the word yes or no. Doesn't matter to me. Let's get into it, though. The Bears lose a key starting linebacker ahead of their matchup against the Detroit Lions, so they won't have him for the playoffs, and they probably won't have him for most of next year, as Noah Sewell is out after tearing his Achilles versus the San Francisco 49ers. So right here, the Bears have placed linebacker Noah Sewell on reserve/injured. Additionally, Chicago has activated tight end Nikola Kalanick from the practice squad /in reserve, and he has been restored on the practice squad. So happy to hear that injury wasn't too serious, but I feel bad for Noah Sewell. And I was talking about the tight end that they called up. Noah Sewell, who is in his third year of his NFL career, one of the first picks by Ryan Poles a few years back, he has finally started getting going in Dennis Allen's defense. He's actually looked pretty good. He's been effective against the run. He looked really good this preseason, but he has been exposed a little bit during the regular season, and he has missed a few games this year due to injury on his elbow, but then this torn Achilles. This guy just unfortunately cannot stay healthy, and that's the most frustrating part about all of it. As a fan of him and as just looking into him as a human being, because you want this guy to do well. You want him to make his NFL career work out. You want to see him continue to progress, and you finally started seeing that this year. I mean, if you look at his stats right here alone, career high in tackles, solo tackles with 33. Along with that too, yeah, he didn't have any interceptions or pass deflections, but he did have 3 tackles for loss and a forced fumble. You know, he obviously was starting to get going. He finally got going, and I feel terrible for him. But that being said, I'm happy to see that we do have the backup for him that can fill in instantly, and that's a guy named Demarco Jackson. Demarco Jackson, who was picked up before week 1 of this season from the New Orleans Saints. He was placed on waivers, who played with Dennis Allen for the last 2 years before Dennis Allen came to the Chicago Bears as their defensive coordinator. Jackson, 5th-round pick out of Appalachian State. Didn't get a lot of playing time with New Orleans, comes to Chicago, and he has been absolutely a fantastic pickup for the Bears. You know, the Saints giving up on him worked out really well for Chicago. He knew this scheme was an instant plug-in, was actually able to help this defense, especially the second unit, get up to speed. And he's been really good on special teams as well. But getting him for the Bears has been great. I mean, over 40 tackles, 16 of them being solo, with 1 interception, 3 pass deflections, 2 tackles for loss, 0 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. You got to remember that this guy was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week after his performance versus the Cleveland Browns. Bears have been decimated at points at the linebacker position. This guy has always stepped up. Also, he walked into that San Francisco 49ers game with illness, battled it off, unfortunately didn't play any snaps. And I was like, man, what are we doing not having him out there? And we saw that as this defense got torched. Jackson is fantastic in coverage, great at getting into the backfield, disrupting the game plan, and also, again, knows Dennis Allen's defense really, really well. So overall, I'm happy to see that, you know, he's going to get more opportunity. I hope he's feeling better, by the way. I haven't seen any Bears injury reports during the time of this recording yet. But at the end of the day, good to see that he is going to get some more playing opportunity. And I really want the Bears to re-sign him. And if you guys do too, comment re-sign in the comments right now. Guys, before we get more into today's show, because we are on the new channel at the moment, we don't have any clarification when the other channel is going to be back. But if you guys haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on this video just to stay up to date in case this situation happens again. I can't control technology, nor can most of us, and it's a holiday, so it doesn't help. But we're 70 away from our goal of 100 subscribers. Make sure you hit that right now. Now, let's get into the Luther Burden news. Bears are hopeful that the young wide receiver will play this upcoming weekend against the Detroit Lions. A big boost to this offense, especially with how he's been playing lately. And I tweeted out earlier today, according to Ben Johnson, the Bears are hopeful Luther Burden will play this week versus the Lions. Good news, especially with how strong of a game he is coming off of versus the 49ers. And along with that, too, that he ended last game grabbing that quad, a little bit hurt. We for sure want him back. He's really started to progress with the Chicago Bears, and this Bears rookie class accounted for 70.2% of the total yards of offense versus the 49ers. Luther Burden with over 130, Cole Colson Level with almost 100. Today Walker with a little over 30, but 2 key first downs, and Kyle Monungai with almost 50. This guy, all this group has been fantastic, but Luther Burden definitely at number 39 has been great for the Chicago Bears. He's really started to heat up. He actually could lead the Bears in receiving yards this year, depending on the outcome of this upcoming Sunday, if Rome plays, first of all, or if how Luther plays as a whole. But what he did against the 49ers, incredibly impressive. Like I said, 8 receptions off 9 targets, 138 yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 17.2 yards per catch. He came here to be a yard after catch player, and that is exactly what the Bears got out of him. And he's been great for this team so far this year. I mean, listen, 617 receiving yards, one of the leaders of the Bears right now at the moment, 2 receiving touchdowns, averaging 14 yards per catch. That is absolutely incredible. And he doesn't drop a lot. A lot of his target or his not catches are overthrows. But good to see that the Chicago Bears have a guy that they took at number 39 to come in here and be a really good player. And I for sure want him back. I think that he's a great blocker, great route runner, can shift out defenders. They have to game plan around him, and he's only going to get better as time goes on. Stand at 6 foot, over 200 pounds, tough to take down, very strong individual. That is why I am such a big fan of Luther Burden, and I hope it really works out for him. We'll see what ends up happening. Now, the final news in today's show is that the Bears were somewhat rumored to go after Trevon Diggs. Why? Who ended up going to the Green Bay Packers, NFC North rival, who the Bears might play week 1 if they do win or the Philadelphia Eagles lose this upcoming Sunday. Now, let's go into this, why it would have made sense. Diggs played for Al Harris. His best season was under Al Harris, where he had 12 interceptions. Along with that, too, 21 pass deflections and 52 total tackles back in 2021, where he was an All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Guy was absolutely electric and could have been a really good piece to this defense. Would know Al Harris's scheme really well. Also, would he be able to teach the younger guys mentorship-wise, has playoff experience, and at the end of the day, just a strong depth piece to have. Not saying we would have kept him forever, but now he goes to the other side of Green Bay. But the thing is that Al Harris knows more than him because he is his coach and knows how he works. So overall, good news right there. And then finally, sources, the Cowboys, like I said, from Ian Rappaport, cornerback Trevon Diggs is joining the Packers in addition before the playoffs. So big news there, right there. Would have been nice for the Chicago Bears, but at the end of the day, because of the Al Harris connection, we didn't end up getting him. So the Bears have to game plan around him. But other than that, guys, no big news day overall here at Just Another Year J Productions Shy Bears right now. That's our new page for the moment. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Just Another Year Productions Chicago Bears. Thank you also for finding the channel. If you haven't already, please could like, comment, and subscribe. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in. And my name is Nick Brody, and I want to hear it loud and proud right before our New Year's. Bear down, baby.